All right, all right. Little quarterback school live Thursday edition. Let's go. Tommy checking in. Zoller. Hey. All right, fired up talk ball. We got ball to talk about. We are in the thick of the preseason. The what do they call it? Like camp practices against other teams. Inter squad. 'Tis the season. Football's here. Feel like I sucked the marrow out of that Hall of Fame All 22 film. If you're interested, Kellen Mond, Patreon community. I think I did Zach Wilson and DTR on the YouTube channel. So get over there, check them out. Sup, Kyle P in the house. Appreciate you guys checking in. Let me know. Engaging in the chat. I enjoy it. Racing Jason. I like it. Engaging with the channel, it means a lot to me. As always, coming to this thing, like the live, subscribe to the channel, yada 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 yada. You know about it. Now's the time though. Let's talk some ball. What else was there? I felt like there was more football this past week than just a Hall of Fame game. There was the Hall of Fame thing. I didn't watch it. There was the Johnny Football Netflix doc. Let me know if you watched that. Let me know if you watched Hard Knocks, the Aaron Rodgers tribute episode. I mean, I enjoy Hard Knocks. I've been on Hard Knocks. We'll put it in air quotes. I was on a team that wasn't Hard Knocks, hardly a main contributor to it, and didn't necessarily love it while it was happening, but certainly appreciate it as kind of a consumer of football and fan of football. So all good stuff with that. But yeah, I thought well, I guess two different kinds of pieces of content, but interesting both of them, how they went about it. Let me know what you thought, if you enjoyed one or the other. If you didn't enjoy one, all the above. Tommy, Johnny Football was wild. Cliff Kingsbury didn't come off great. I mean, what part? Like him allowing him to be him and like not being like, kind of like overbearing parent. I think people would be surprised. I think that's how a lot of it is done. I don't think that's Cliff specific. I would say you would hope that your coaches maybe would give you more guardrails than he offered at the time, but I would say Cliff is pretty chill, pretty, go with the flow. But yeah, I could see how people would think that he didn't come off great in a handful of those interviews. Griffin going out to practice. What did I like best when I played for McCarthy? I think the thing I enjoyed about McCarthy at the time was I thought he did a really nice job of pushing the West Coast a little bit forward, like nudging it forward. We had a pretty, what I would consider a robust run game at the time. Deuce was pretty good. We carried a lot. We had RPOs. We didn't call them RPOs. So I thought we were high volume, lots of good options and kind of tools for the quarterback to be successful. Plus, I enjoyed his quarterback school. Hence, you get it. John Iden. Appreciate all you guys coming in, throwing their questions in the comments. I'll in the chat. I'll do my best. I will not be able to get to all of them if everybody crushes them right away and right at the same time, but I'll do my best to get to as many as I can here as we just crank out questions because we're in football season. Charles, thoughts on Desmond Ridder? No more thoughts than what I probably put in the videos. I think I did damn near every one of his games from last year. So if you're beyond that, no. John, if you could pick any players from any eras for any type of scheme, what would your go-to scheme be? I mean, I enjoyed the spread. I mean, I would want to be in a scheme that wasn't fully developed. So on like the front edge of whenever those schemes were developed, I feel like gave them their best opportunity to be successful. Time served. Loves the Tua videos. Appreciate it. I'm excited to watch Tua come back at it. Obviously, hoping that he's healthy. I've heard that he's bigger we'll see if that helps. I can definitely tell you that it's a humbling experience when you get tossed around in that league and you feel like you're not quite as big as you want to be. And so it'll be interesting to see how they can kind of protect slash evolve his game to be able to allow him to play 17 plus games, hopefully. Based historian. You said you used wide splits when you were coaching. Yes. What did you do in the passing game with that? Based historian, I have a full course that sells the entire offense, but I would say we did damn near everything you can possibly think of, specifically at the high school level, high volume offense. I personally am not a huge fan of quick outs and speed outs, so we didn't do a whole lot of quick outs. We didn't do any quick outs or speed outs from a number one outside receiver wide split. It was more hitches and stops and slants and ins, those types of things, posts over the top, as opposed to outbreaking routes when you're already outside the numbers in the wide number game. But we did. I would say we carried damn near any concept you could think of. A-Rod turns Wilson around? ? Mark York. I mean, we'll see, man. I think that there's a good chance he has a positive influence on him. Does he make him into a potential Hall of Famer? Who am I to say he couldn't? We'll see. I think it will be less about A-Rod turning Wilson and Wilson proactively, intentionally taking from Aaron and learning from Aaron, and then not just trying to replicate it, but making it his own. If he can do that, I think he can make some big jumps. We'll see. Hey, Zeus M, how raw is 318 total pass attempts in college for Trey to transition to the NFL to contribute after year? I mean, they drafted him, man. I mean, it's not everybody's raw when they come into the league a little bit. I would say there's only been a handful of guys that are quote unquote like really polished, ready to go right away. But yeah, I mean, I make no bones about it. I think I'm on record a number of different videos about what my thought process was for that draft, and they didn't do that. They didn't ask me. Griffin, what are the disadvantages of using pure progression reads? Ooh, that's a good one. Pure progression reads to me do not take advantage of what I consider the defense giving you consistently. So yeah, it's easier to teach, it's easier to rep, but I also think pure progressions don't allow you to be able to oftentimes use the full field, whether it's depth or width. Because if your first read is the slot on the left, and if they have four guys over there, you got to look there. 1, 2, 3, as opposed to a more flexible system that's a little bit more coverage based. It can be based on man or zone, open, closed, different iterations of coverages that allow you to spread the ball wider, quicker, take a little bit more advantage of your opponent. It's a little bit more adaptive, a little bit more game to game, week to week. The reads can change. It can be a little bit more complicated, but I feel like it allows you to take more advantage of what the defense is doing, as opposed to saying, hey, this is the read, 1, 2, 3, put it on him. It's hard. It's hard for me to think you're going to do a 1, 2, 3 read progression. How often, let's put it this way for the group. How often do you see a quarterback go 1, 2, 3 all the way across the field? It's pretty rare. Like even on 7-on-7, it's rare, let alone real tackle football where people are rushing, trying to take your head off. So it's rare. So a pure progression doesn't take advantage, in my opinion, of the full field very often, as opposed to a coverage-based reading system where it's based on the shell, based on the coverage that you see pre-snap and confirm post-snap. The ball is determined where to go. So versus quarters, we're going to go over here. Versus closed man, we're going to go here. Versus closed zone, we're going to go here. Versus pressure, we're going to go here. And all those reads can change every single week. So yeah, it's a hell of a lot more, but I think it's a way more adaptive, way more flexible if your quarterback and your coaches can handle that kind of like mental gymnastics every week. Griffin Harble, favorite quote from the Johnny Doc: "You better fucking play good." Did he say effing? I don't know. I liked what was the other one he said early on? "Win or lose, we booze." That was pretty funny. Never heard that one. Again, I appreciate everybody coming in. As you come in, do me a favor, hit that like button. See what we got. Oh, Michael, for this one, we might bring it in. Watch this. Michael, what do you think of the Big Ten expanding to 18 teams? I mean, so this is you know, I feel like I do like, what do we think is going on here? This is something that in my world has been going on for a long time, well over half a decade. There was a time I was in college athletics administration and got a lot of pushback on my views that guys should be paid and what the kind of all moving towards a kind of super league or two conference super league, super conferences looks like. I personally have no feelings. I'm not a Big Ten guy. I didn't go to those institutions. I don't think of myself. I don't think in conference like that. I went to Division II, independent school. So the conference thing to me never really resonates. I will say that just being a West Coast guy, I'm a little bummed for the Pac-12 and people on the West Coast, just because I do think it is a different way to digest and live college football. I personally really like it because you get crazy early games, get crazy late games, but I don't, I've lived in SEC country, I've lived in Big Ten country, I lived in the Big 12 world. I didn't experience that college football. I don't think of myself that. I have no aspirations to be in that world. But I do love what college football did for me and the experience I got. And I'm not sure how many people are going to get that opportunity as the kind of institutions that offer it at the highest level seem to be shrinking. And it's making things a lot harder on what I would say the athletes as far as the travel and all that. I love the fact that we're getting away from the bullshit jargon as far as like student athlete experience or this is for the students. All that shit has always been bullshit. It has always been bullshit. And anybody who says otherwise was just, regurgitating some thought that the NCAA pumped into their kind of lane. So I want the athletes to get what they deserve. I think it's been interesting to hear the hypocrisy come out of a bunch of these kind of like $1 million coaches and administrators that have been pumping this bullshit in the NCAA for a long time about a bunch of their different talking points and how, wasting time on, somebody ate a burger or some bullshit violation. I worked in the NCAA compliance world for a little bit. I know exactly what that legislation looks like, and I have pretty strong feelings about it. So it flared up for me this week with the Johnny Manziel documentary. It will continue with the quote unquote like conference realignment, but I don't think there's any easy answers. In fact, I'm not sure there will be easy answers in the near future. I think the media landscape, as it continues to quickly evolve, probably in front of a lot of these conference deals. They're going to continue to try to hedge their bets and play catch up, and we'll see what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. I think eventually it looks like a super league, just like, NFL minus or whatever. And that's, I see the benefits of that. I do. But I also feel like certain people are going to lose the opportunity to experience college athletics, but other guys aren't going to get exploited as badly as they have at the highest level. So somewhere in between there, we'll see what it looks like. I don't know. What do you think about the conference realignment? Boom. Ha. Foz, not a citizens. No, it's a doxa. Dave got me laughing. The Gauchos. Halloween is undefeated. I thought Halloween was Chico State. Maybe Santa Barbara went off too. I don't know. Cow P. Boom. No, it's a little hot. I gotta mix the this one light makes it too hot. So we'll come back over here for you. Just mess with the angles. Keep it light, keep it right. Okay? That's what I like to see. Casio, bro. Fuck you guys. Coming in with the bullshit watch takes. I actually do have a G-Shock that I really like. Fabio, I missed the question. Put it again in the chat. Oh, no, there it is. Never mind. I see it. Hey, JT, glad to catch a live stream. Thanks for doing it. I haven't watched you in a bit. Wondering what your thoughts are on Bryce Young's season this year. Fabio, no real thoughts other than stuff that I've had on the video in the past. I mean, I think that Carolina is positioned to potentially have one of the better, this is not a hot take. I just think that division is so crummy right now as far as, what it looks like it could be, that Carolina and Bryce Young could have a great season when it comes to that type of, rookie year, him coming in, doing some things. We'll see what it looks like. Beyond me being excited to see Bryce Young and what he looks like from Saturdays to Sundays, I don't necessarily think, anything specific about it. It'll be interesting just because I think he's in a situation and surrounded by guys and an organization staff, not organization, but that coaching staff potentially could give him the scaffolding to be successful quicker than maybe some other places. We'll see if that's true or not. Boom. Steelers DB. Are we getting new courses this fall? Almost finished with how to beat every coverage. Probably not this fall. I'm working on the ideas for the next course. It'll probably be like right after football season. Maybe. We'll see what it looks like. I'm thinking probably doing like a, we'll see. I mean, if you guys have ideas for courses, let me know. But I think I'm going to do like an entry level, kind of like an intro to quarterbacking. So if you're like a youngster or you've got a youngster and you're interested in kind of getting like the, the 101 iteration of playing quarterback, I feel like that is a space that I could contribute a little bit that I don't have. Some of my courses are a little bit more, not esoteric, but like a little bit more on you have to be pretty invested into football already to be able to grasp and kind of take a lot of the information. So it would be, I think I want to try to hit the other spectrum. We'll see if that happens or not. Like Jonah, that would be one of any advice for QBs trying to earn a starting job would be a great video for the course on learning how to be a quarterback. Oh, Coach Kovacs. Damn, bro. I'm sorry. I might have butchered that last name. Can you go over the clap count and line of scrimmage procedure for high school? How did you get signals out and snap football? Coach, I know a great course, and I know a big anniversary sale coming your way soon. I think this might be year 5 for the channel. If it's year 5, I'm going to make an anniversary sale pretty big. So if you've ever been thinking about courses, probably hold off for that anniversary sale coming around the corner. I think I have a video on the clap count. Maybe I don't. I'm happy to go over it now. We only had one snap count. The clap, well, that's not true. Everything was on the clap. So I did the signals on the sideline. If I didn't give a fake snap or I don't even know. We didn't even do on 2 because I got so pissed when we would be backed up in practice on Thursday that we didn't do it. So it was either fake clap. It was either clap and snap the ball, or fake clap, everybody looks at me, or clap, look at me, fake clap again. So like a double fake clap. And those were all signals. If I want anything that wasn't a one clap was a signal from me. So they would, if we were doing fake clap, they would all hurry up, get up to the line of scrimmage. One of the biggest teaching points is get everybody up to the line of scrimmage, get set, get in your stance. I was a big fan of 2-point stances for the offensive line so they could actually look over after the signal. Some guys preferred 3. It's a little, you got to deal with some hip mobility issues, but so you clap, everybody looks to the sideline, get the signal. Sometimes they would look at the signal, and I would give them a fake clap signal. We had a bunch of different ways. I think I had 3 ways to do a fake clap signal. So they would look at me, get a signal, go back, clap, look at me again, and or I would just give the signal. And I did all the signals, and the whole system. The reason I love the system and am proud of selling the system is because how it takes a lot of information, what I would consider as robust a system as anyone at the high school level, and makes it digestible and fine enough as far as like a funnel to be able to do a handful of signals, and everyone can communicate from one signaler on the sideline. I prefer to do the signals just because it was faster for me than kind of getting on the mic, saying it to someone else. They do the signals. I just wanted to go as fast as possible. So that was how we did it. Hopefully that makes sense, Coach. Easy. How many teammates did you have that had a Manziel mindset? I think that means different things to different people. I am only aware of having one bipolar teammate. If we're talking about just dudes who don't give a fuck and don't watch film, that's a lot. I mean, not don't give a fuck, but like don't watch film. Guys who are quarterbacks that don't watch film, not very many. Guys that don't watch a lot of film, yeah, a decent amount. I would say like a third maybe. But like everybody watches some film because you're in meetings. You have to watch film. Like on your own, I'm sure there were some, maybe not a third, maybe 10%. It's hard to fake it though, y'all. I'm telling you, it's hard to fake it because in these meetings, it's not like a normal class where you're like everyone's in the offense together. You do the offense, you do a quarterbacks only meeting. So it's like the 3 quarterbacks, the quarterback coach, the coordinator, sometimes the head coach. So you're in like a PhD class, and you better have done the shit or else you're going to get exposed in these conversations. So like, there's no way I don't know how you would hide it if you didn't watch the film to be prepared to go to those meetings. Now, maybe some coaches just hold hands so much that they watch all the film in the meeting, but like, I don't know. That didn't do the extra thing. I feel like that's a decent amount of guy. Not, it would be hard for me to put a percentage on it. I think if the quarterbacks, it would be like, I would say 10-ish%, maybe more than that, maybe 20%. I don't know about a quarter. I don't think a quarter of the guys didn't watch film out of practice. That was because on Tuesdays back in the day before the iPads, oftentimes quarterbacks would all be in there and watching film together on the off day or after practice or after meetings. So it's like, I don't know. And the other part about it, and I don't think I talked about it on the Patreon video. I was thinking about it while it was happening, and this is going to piss off like some cert guys. So don't get all hurty feelings if you're a cert guy in here. But part of the beauty of pure progression kind of what I think of as certain air raid concepts is they're running to grass. Everything is an adjustment to the defense. So it doesn't really matter what the coverage is, right? Like you're reading, if it's a pure progression 1, 2, 3, and they can adjust the routes, what does it matter? What they did 3 weeks ago. Like that part of it, I don't want to make excuses for some of the guys who come out of that system, but I could see why you would think that some of the film prep that maybe back in the day was really important to guys like Peyton and guys who everything was based off coverage and, those types of things that different than pure progression, run to grass, adjust to the coverage. Like then the coverage doesn't matter as much. Boom. Super Bowl champion prediction this year. Mark, I got no. Chiefs? Fabio. JT, my son has joined 7th grade football. Uh-oh. The grade at which it all starts here in Ohio. Any advice for a starting player like that? See, it would be a good course, I feel like. Yeah, man, just have as much fun as possible. Please don't try to this is my thing, and this is less about when you start football and just more about youth sports as they transition to what I call scholastic or high school sports, and the fucking quagmire that is in between youth sports and once everyone is through puberty, which is different for every single person and every single, situation, it feels like. It's essentially what I think of as just put your head down until you're through that stage, because there's no reason to start comparing and contrasting, the 8th grader who's doing 8th grade again, who's already gone through puberty versus, the kid who's young for his age, who looks small in 8th grade. So, I mean, that's the type of stuff. I think that shit all evens out eventually, but it doesn't mean that it's easy when you're going through it. So I would just try to have as much fun as possible and try to re-emphasize those types of things that, you just want to keep playing sports, or I want people to keep playing sports as long as they can, that enjoy it. And so to make sure you have a good experience, whatever that looks like, to be able to keep coming back and enjoy it as you're coming back. But it can be tough, man. It can be tough. Zachary Davis. JT, how serious are these preseason games taken? Bro, by people on the edge of the roster, it is the Super Bowl. That's straight up, period, stop. It is the most important game of the year. Now, by guys who are starters, no. They're looking to get work and get out healthy. Are the joint practices valued more than the games just because of the reps? I think joint practices for certain things are very valuable, as far as red zone reps, blitz pickup reps, working your craft versus other people, one-on-one types of things. But for the quarterback, you're not getting hit, but it's the same type of thing. But guys who are on the lower end of the roster, it all matters. The preseason games are the max, though. And a perfect example of that is a guy like DTR. DTR is a guy, the way he plays, the playmaking, the running around, the ability to take off, you can't do that shit in those practices. They'll blow the whistle. They're not going to let the quarterback go run. So the preseason games are even more important for a guy like that. What was the last part of that question? Lastly, what are the positives that come out of preseason games for the starter coming off healthy? Just if you're on a new team, I think, or a new staff, I think it's important to just get the pre-game kind of flow, like what the itinerary looks like. What is our process pre-game? When are we going out? What are we doing out on the field? Where are we stretching? All that type of stuff you got to iron out, but that's a one and done rep. You practice that once, you do it once, and you're good to go. I don't think that there's a whole lot else other than maybe potentially, if you're playing up front and you got a new guy next to you and you've been a long time veteran and you just want to make sure that this guy knows what the fuck he's doing as far as the calls and how he plays, does he lose his mind? Because some guys up front go full psycho, or some guys, cower to the lights. And so you just want to make sure that, the dudes that you're out there with are locked in and how they go about their business. But you're not really going to figure that out in, one or two series in a preseason game. Fabio, maybe I'll make it a short. Help you out. I don't remember to go back when it was in this thing. What, that was like minute 25 or something? BBB, you got no sound, dog? Come on. Come on, dog. What else we got? Oh, man, we've already gone a half hour. All right, y'all. A little bit longer, and then we're done. There was a couple on here that I wanted to go back and see if I missed it. Cold Crush Corey. Hey JT, what are your thoughts on the NFL planning expansion teams in Europe? I'm from the UK and would love for them to do it, but I don't think it will work out logistically. Really? I'm all for it, dog. I'm ready. I think it'll be great. It's only a matter of time. I think it'll probably go. I wouldn't mind going into Mexico either. So Europe, Mexico. I think it's only a matter of time. The Shield needs to continue to grow. I should say. And I would love to see. I think London is the obvious first choice, but I'm a big fan. I really enjoyed my time and the fan support in Germany. I think you could also make it work. So yeah, let me know what you think besides not working logistically. I think it could work logistically. It would almost be like you'd go over there and play 2 games or something. I don't know. I actually don't think it's that far. Is it that much farther? Is it farther from New York to London or New York to Seattle? I would imagine it's probably close to the same. I would imagine it's probably closer than New York to LA, New York to London. But I don't know. West Coast guy. BBB. Besides for not being able to hear me on this answer, DTR did a reaction video to JT's critiques a few years ago. Yes. Easy Yee. Okay. How do you feel about college head coaches being more leaders of men? Are they, bro? All right. Versus NFL head coaches being glorified OCs. I wouldn't frame it like that, Easy E, although I do appreciate the sarcasm. I think you put it one place, I'd probably put it the other place. I think for the college head football coach, it is so much more than just the scheme as far as the recruiting, the administration, the bullshit, the campus expectations. It's a bigger, different job. Versus in the league, it's certainly a big job, but it's much more football specific. You're not you're not recruiting. You're not doing it. You don't have to deal with other kind of like administrative duties that maybe you would as kind of the figurehead of a massive Power 5 football program, the boosters, those types of things. That I think it's just different. So it allows you to be more schemy if you so aspire to be that way. I personally don't know if, let's just put it through the hoop mental gymnastics of my anecdotally what I would do if I thought I was in the same position. I probably would be in that position because of how I was as a play caller. So it would be hard for me to get to the top spot and then be like, you know what? I got here because I'm a really good play caller. I'm going to let someone else do it. Like, no, fam. Like, that's not going to work. And so that just, so I totally empathize with guys who are head coaches, also play callers on either side of the ball. I personally think offense is even better to do it, but that's just because I'm a obviously biased guy. Boom, Michael, appreciate you letting me know it sounds good. All right, 1 or 2 more. Fabio, I honestly don't know about the support in the UK. I mean, every time I turn on a game and they're over there, it looks like like the NFL Europe World Bowl game where like people are wearing every jersey. It's like an all-star game in the stands. I would imagine there's enough support just because there's enough people, but I don't know. All right, well, it seems like that's a wrap. Let me know over the course of the weekend if there are specific preseason games that you would like to see more of than others. Hopefully, I can get the film. I was pretty excited to get the Hall of Fame film. So, as we get the preseason film, I will certainly be here cranking these out. I'm going to aspire to do the live Tuesday ish this time, probably like 2 ish West Coast time. It's just how it works out for me schedule wise. We'll see if I can keep that schedule. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you're not following me on social media, hop over to Twitter or X, whatever the hell it's called, at the Quarterback School. As always, thank you for hanging out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, do the Patreon community. The courses, keep your eyes open for the anniversary sale coming around the corner. And again, I appreciate the support. I really do. I love this stuff. It's really fun. This time of year is going to be awesome. So crank that thing up for these games to starting. All right. See you on the other side.